way. But there's also, I put on my metrics glasses, all my analytics glasses for all those nerds out there.
The Thomas Bryant jockstrap, get him out of here!
How does that not indicate to you, like, hey, sometimes, like, these prospects are awesome?
Donald, get back! They snatched that chain, boy. Get back! What y'all gonna do about it? Popeye snatched that chain. Get back! We want that snack wrap. They got 3 flavors. Y'all got 1. Get back!
Hey everybody, welcome into the Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. I'm Ryan Tyler, he's Jack O'Rourke, he's Rob Watson, he is Nick Padone. Today is Thursday, November 13th, 2025. Good morning, gentlemen. How are we on this wonderful day?
Fired up, ready to talk some. We got a lot of stuff going on today. We're going across the board. I don't think it's an actual segment, but my brain is really stimulated by the Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua possible fight that could go down. So that's kind of where my morning went. A little bit of reading about that.
Well, I'm going to need you guys to fill me in on that because I know nothing about the world of boxing. Rob, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, fellas. I'm tired, but good morning. I need like an energy drink or something. I don't know.
Nick, what's up, dude?
What's up, guys? Good Cavs win last night. Wow. The Cavs, like, it's crazy. You know, the NBA has this load management problem, and when the superstars don't play, people don't want to tune in. The Cavs turn in one of the most entertaining games that you'll ever see. I wish the Browns could be just a fraction of the organization that the Cavs have.
Well, we start there with our Cleveland Cavaliers. They bounce back, defeat the Miami Heat 130-116. Cavs improved to 8-4. Miami Heat dropped to 7-5. That's good for second in the Eastern Conference standings for our Cleveland Cavaliers. Jarrett Allen will start here. 30 points for the big fella. 12 for 20 shots. 20 shots Jarrett Allen took last night. Obviously, we're without Evan Mobley, without Darius Garland, without Donovan Mitchell, and we continue to be without Max Strus. Rob, we start with Jarrett Allen, the big man. 20 shots he puts up. Was it a concerted effort to kind of, listen, none of the other big four are out there. We're going to need you to step up as we throw out our G League team against the South Beach team?
Yeah, bro, someone's got to shoot the ball. I mean, if those three
The
are
Colin
playing,
Sexton method.
There's like an extra 90 shots available, so it's good from Jarrett to step up and, you know, after a disappointing loss on Monday to come out and put in some effort. Wouldn't have been a night for him to turn in one of those 5-5s or one of those ghost games, so it's good out of him, man. On 27 minutes, too. It's highly productive.
What are your thoughts on my favorite player, known second option, DeAndre Hunter?
Dude, DeAndre's just been a dog this year, bro. I don't know what to tell you. I fear that this is like, when it all gets healthy, I hope that he can fill his role without getting as many shots as he will want, because if he wants to play like this, he'll be a ball stopper in a group where he's really the guy that needs to be taking the third or fourth most amount of shots. But if he could keep this up in a nice like third ball handler option role on limited touches later on, that would be really good.
Nick, I'll flip it over to you. What are you seeing out of Lonzo Ball being in the starting lineup as we have players hurt? 20 minutes. He put up 15 points, which is good to see. But you know it's all about the facilitation and defense for Lonzo Ball. 8 assists in this one.
Dude, he just impacts winning. Like, this isn't an original take. I think Bill Simmons was the one that said this. Like, he has the best job in the NBA right now, where, like, there are really no expectations for Lonzo Ball other than to go out there on a nightly basis and to make your team better. You know, like, it is just that simple. Like, on nights like what we saw last night, you could be a scoring option. On nights where Darius and Donovan are both healthy and are both in the lineup, you could just be a facilitator, and you could be a defender, and you could be a pesky guy on the other side of the floor that's creating turnovers, but then at the same time, a guy that could lead the offense. I love that move when it went down, just because I knew that was the kind of player that Lonzo Ball was. We've never seen him on a team as talented as this one, or even half as talented as this one. So it's been phenomenal. Like, that addition was really slept on. Obviously, Isaac Okoro was like a fan favorite, and everybody, you know, wishes him well. But it's about, you know, winning a championship this season, and I really think Lonzo Ball will help the Cavs do that, especially when the lights are the brightest.
You know, so many people were mad in the offseason when we let go of Ty Jerome, and the day this signing broke, I came in here and I was like, this is a good pickup if he can stay healthy. If he's on the court, he's an upgrade over Ty Jerome because of how well-rounded of a player he is. And like Bill Simmons said, he impacts winning. He's someone that's going to do all the little things, all the dirty things. He's going to make the right play every possession. At times, he's going to be aggressive if he has to. He's a taller frame. He's more athletic. He's just someone that is much more suited for today's style of NBA, and you need multiple guys like Lonzo in supporting roles to win.
Well,
Like this is a guy too, Rob. Like he was the number 2 overall pick in the draft. Like this isn't some kind of just scrub.
Well, the Cavaliers and Kenny Atkinson elected to go 11 deep in this one. The 2 guards off of the bench were big in this one. We'll start Tyrese Proctor, 23 minutes, 12 points, 4 for 15 field goals. Not too efficient, 2 for 8 beyond the arc, but the big hero, and Kenny Atkinson said it himself, a heroic effort from Craig Porter Jr. 32 minutes despite coming off of that bench, 19 points. He had 4 rebounds, 9 assists for Craig Porter Jr. in 32 minutes, 7 for 12, 3 for 3 beyond the arc in the absence of Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland. Rob, how big is it for Craig Porter to get going off this bench in that point guard role?
Really good for him tonight, because honestly, I had been one of the people saying I haven't. There were people out there putting out stuff that he shouldn't even be in the rotation a couple nights ago, and it's big for him because he's going to be needed. Like, say if we had a game tomorrow, Alonzo Ball wouldn't play, and if everyone was still hurt, Craig Porter might even be starting a basketball game. So you need him to be ready to contribute. But this is the guy that you saw the flashes of last year when he would get in the game, that he's someone that's just everywhere. He had 4 blocks, 19 points. He was 100% from 3, which is something that was one of the drawbacks, is that you didn't think he was a consistent shooter. 9 assists. When he's got all that going, he's a great player. It'll just be about consistency for him.
Well, we're getting a little bit of a look at this NBA season in a picture. Now, there's still plenty of games to go, but early on, Detroit Pistons lead the Eastern Conference. They're 10-2. I mentioned the Cavaliers 8-4, followed by New York, Philly, who are 7-4, and then rounding out the top 6, Atlanta and Miami. I'll start here. Are the Detroit Pistons and Cade Cunningham, led by JB Bickerstaff, are they for real?
No, you saw what we did to them. That was like a week. Was that 2 weeks ago?
2 now,
ago?
probably.
Yeah, we're not worried about that, bro. JB Bickerstaff, regular season merchant. Already said it, books out. And Cade Cunningham has to do things like shoot 40 shots. So that's just not sustainable. They need to give him some help. Now, they got
what did you say? You had 45 on 45 a couple nights ago or something like that? That's ridiculous.
Like that. Very, very right. And he had like 12 assists and 15 rebounds too. Like, he's doing everything. Shout out to my boy Pat that was wondering about if Cade Cunningham was someone living up to his #1 pick.
Hey, Cade Cunningham, confirmed listener of the Big Factor, possibly. Hey guys, I did notice this. Not to get all the way Scott off topic, but to get all the way Scott off topic. Did you know Dan Lanning follows the Big Factor on Twitter?
What?
Yeah, like the Oregon head coach. Yeah, go ahead and Google it. Or don't Google it, look it up on Twitter.
What do you mean, bro?
I mean, Dan Lanning, the head coach of the Oregon Ducks, follows at the Big Factor on Twitter. That is exactly what I mean.
Did you look and it's his official account?
Unless there's a Dan Lanning parody that has 85,000 followers and tweets practice schedules, then no.
We made it.
Wow.
Yeah, so more you know, less you learn.
Anyways, back to the Pistons. I mean, it's just not enough with Duren as your second best player. He's someone who's like Jared Allen limited, needs the people to pass on the ball. If they got Malik Beasley back, I think that would be huge for them. But like I'm saying, Atlanta Hawks with Jeff Teague-esque, probably a great regular season loading for the boys, but it'll be over for them in the playoffs.
All right, Nick. New York 7-4, Philadelphia 7-4, Atlanta 7-5, Miami 7-5, Bucks 7-5, and then rounding out the top 10, Toronto 8, Chicago 9, Orlando 10. Are the Knicks still, in your eyes, the biggest competition to get through the East for our Cleveland Cavaliers?
I think so, because I think like the season is going to be way different. Also, why am I so like
you are very blurry?
Right? Yeah, like what is going on with that? Because I'm crystal clear in my window, but then this window is super pixelated. I don't know. It should be Cavs and Knicks.
The East is weak. I really don't know who it'll be. It should be us, but I think it's a toss-up. Giannis could get hot in the playoffs, and then all of a sudden he's dragging the Bucks. You know, the Magic haven't started off fast, but you know they got to mesh a little bit, so it's going to take some time. They just picked up a big win over the Knicks. I don't remember if it was last night or 2 nights ago. Detroit, maybe they ride the run. Edgecombe and Maxey are solid out in Philadelphia, but there's
generator.
There's so much going on. Like if Trae Young gets healthy for the Hawks, Jalen Johnson has been amazing this year. That's a great 1-2 punch. And then they got Porzingis.
How's Ricochet doing?
He's been playing good. That's a tall line. That's a big lineup with some solid players, but I really think it's just a toss-up who's going to be that team that we got to get through in the conference finals.
Hey, Nick, you're good again.
Bang.
I left the stream and I came back. Look at that.
Look at that. I can see your face now. Nick, let's flip over to the Western Conference, okay? OKC 12-1, the NBA title favorites to repeat. Denver 9-3.
Death Star.
The
They have 3
Spurs
first-round picks,
8-3. Nick, Are the Spurs already contenders? We know Victor Wembanyama was going to take over the NBA. It was just a matter of time, but already we're seeing a different form of Victor Wembanyama. Spurs right now, the 3 seed in the West. Could they actually do it already, go to the promised land already with Victor Wembanyama?
So I don't know about going to the finals yet, just because like we know the playoffs are a different animal. Same way that I answered your Cavs Knicks question. Like NBA playoffs are just different. So I don't know if the Spurs can make it yet. However, they're certainly primed to, make the playoffs, make some noise in the playoffs, and stack that valuable experience. They're doing this now in the regular season without Dylan Harper, who's dealing with a little bit of a hamstring thing. So the Spurs are so good. Like when you look at the Western Conference, like the Western Conference is so loaded. The way that Luka and Reeves opened the season, and I know they faltered, but they're about to get LeBron back. Like the way that the Mavericks are all the way at the bottom and Nico Harrison got fired because they thought they were going to be at the top. Like the West is so loaded that, the Cavs got to focus on handling business. They got to get out of the East first. But man, if they do, that NBA Finals is going to be highly contested, whether it's OKC, whether it's Denver, whether it is San Antonio or one of these veteran teams, with Houston, Kevin Durant, or LA with LeBron and Luka. Like it is going to be a bloodbath out West come playoff time.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy too, not to cut you off, Rob, but like you look at the Spurs and the Patriots, 2 teams that just won, it seemed like our whole entire lives, and they finally like stooped down to our level for like 3 years, and both of them just run it back right away.
I mean, we see that across the entire sports.
It's called a good
good
Yeah.
organization.
Fuck.
It's called culture. It's called
Don't have one of those.
It's called reloading, not
Go fish.
rebuilding. It all starts within, man, and it's just not here for our Cleveland Browns, unfortunately.
Yeah, smart trades, smart draft picks. Like you look at the things that San Antonio has done, like they haven't made the head scratching move. Whereas like you could look around just the NBA. Like I won't throw shots at the Browns here. Like look around the NBA and the amount of teams that just continuously make head scratching. Why would they do that type moves? It allows the teams like the Spurs, organizations like the Spurs, organizations like the Cavs. Cavs are a good organization to stockpile talent. It is unfair in a way because some organizations just can't get out of their own way.
Well, up next for our Cleveland Cavaliers, they tip off tonight, 7 p.m. at Rocket Arena. They welcome in the 6-5 Toronto Raptors. All right,
The
guys,
Raptors.
we're flipping over to football, but before we do that, I got to tell everybody about our great friends at Garage Beer. Garage Beer comes in just 2 flavors, classic light lager as well as that classic lime. No frills, no bitterness, no IPAs. It's just beer the way you want beer to taste, and that is beer-flavored beer. So go ahead and scan that QR code now or go give their website a visit, drinkgaragebeer.com, to find local retailers who sell garage beer near you. Again, that is drinkgaragebeer.com. All right, guys. We're flipping over to the Cleveland Browns right now. And when you're 2-7 and when things aren't going right, a lot of people look for somebody to blame. They look for their pound of flesh. And a lot of people, well, that goes to the head coach in Kevin Stefanski. And perhaps that's rightfully so. But I want to play this clip. This is from Josh Cribbs on the Top Dog Show here on the Big Play Sports Networks. Those episodes go out Tuesday nights. Well, he had something to say about the blame going towards Kevin Stefanski. I'll play the clip and we'll come back and we will react to that.
But I think the same plays that Stefanski called, it had Jameis Winston throwing for 350 yards. Still interceptions. We still lost. But it had Joe Flacco going to the playoffs. Flacco fever. It had Deshaun Watson having some success with greater, and all these quarterbacks had greater receivers statistically. But the same OC, right? 2 coach of the years. Like, this just didn't happen. We like to kind of, first dig on a coach, right? But we got to have the players. I put something on my IG and I said, it's not just the coach. I don't want to just put them on him because the Browns, we cycle through coaches. And people were like, well, then you saying it's the general manager if we don't have plays. It's no players out there right now. I don't know who we looking for a savior, who we think we're going to trade for. Who is out there that the Browns can get right now and come to this team and help us win? The players just not out there right now.
That is Josh Cribbs from Big Play Sports Networks, the Top Dog Show. Rob, I'll start with you. I know you probably didn't want to hear that.
All right.
Is there any solace in that fact that we have seen other quarterbacks throw for like 350 yards like we did Jameis Winston against Denver. You saw PJ Walker beat the 49ers. You've seen some success with other quarterbacks. Are we putting too much blame are we putting too much blame on Kevin Stefanski for this colossal failure?
They sent the black trucks to Josh, man. They told him to get on there and talk that talk, bro. We're giving him an equal, a very fair amount of blame. The team has won 5 games so far in the last, I don't know, I'm sure someone's got the days out, but it's over like 500 at this point. You deserve some blame. You're the head coach. You help pick the players. You're coaching up the players. We're still undisciplined. We just lost the game because we couldn't stay on side. I could go on and on and on. You got your guy out there. You can't throw the ball over 5 yards. You can't see over the line. He's missing wide open people on 4th and 1. Offensive line's trash. Everything, the scheme. You had to give up play calling for us to score 20 points without the defense scoring a touchdown. On and on and on. Here we go. I'm not going to sit here and start saying, oh, because the team sucks, it's not the coach's fault. It's a direct thing. We've been giving him not all of the blame, but a good portion, and he probably should lose his job, and that's fair, and that's what it is. But I'm not going to sit here and start copping the plea because he won 2 Coach of the Years, which is just a fan-voted award from the media based on which coach surprised someone the most this year, when realistically he was probably like 12th or 15th best coach in the NFL in those years, bro.
Dude, the other piece of this, too, like, it's nobody saying that Stefanski isn't a good coach, hasn't been a good coach, can still be a good coach. But, like, we just got done talking Caps, right? And I would venture that everybody on the program would agree that Kenny Atkinson is a good coach. Guess what? A couple years ago, Kenny Atkinson got fired from the Brooklyn Nets. You know why? Because sports are a results-oriented business. And the Brooklyn Nets were not producing winning results, which led to Kenny Atkinson being fired. And the fit wasn't there. The voice ran out. And I think that's what we're dealing with here in Cleveland. I know I had mentioned a couple days ago on the show that the press conferences, there's just no point in doing them. To me now, the press conferences make it seem like Kevin Stefanski wants to be fired. Like, the fact that he's saying he doesn't know what's going on with Deshaun Watson and that that's not what they're doing as an organization, like, all these answers, he won't even mention Shedeur Sanders by name when he's asked about the potential of seeing him. Very fair questions, by the way, especially because Haslam said what he said in the preseason about seeing both rookie quarterbacks. Like, it kind of maybe seems like the guy just doesn't want to be here anymore.
Could it get to a point, and we've talked about this, and Rob, I believe you've made this comparison before. You talk about J.B. Bickerstaff, who did a phenomenal job with the Cleveland Cavaliers after they were horrible after LeBron left for the second time. Call for what is, they were horrible. He gets them back to the playoffs, but they reached a point where you realized, well, there's this proverbial hump that J.B. Bickerstaff can't get this team over. With Kevin Stefanski, we've gone to the playoffs twice. We've had a good year with Baker Mayfield when we went to the divisional round, almost beat the Chiefs, and went to the AFC Championship. A good coach is required to do that. But perhaps it's run its time here in Cleveland, and you need somebody else to come in, a new voice, to kind of rally this locker room and change the culture to get to where we believe Kenny Atkinson is bringing the Cleveland Cavaliers.
John Gruden.
Not everyone is Bill Belichick, bro. How many of those come along where someone coaches for 25 years in the same place and people don't get sick of hearing your stuff? They even got sick of it for him, and when he stopped getting it done, it was time to go. And Kevin's a way less accomplished coach. He was a good coach, solid coach. He might go somewhere and be a good coach again with offensive talent and all these other things, but he might not be the guy that could help you build up and get it back after it was where it was. Like, now that the talent's gone, he's not the guy that's going to help you re-get to where you once were. So it's just, I don't understand because we get back to this every time. It's like the Browns fans. It's like that keep going back to your ex that just keeps doing you super wrong, and then you're always convincing yourself, like, Kevin, we watch it be absolutely trash. We watch him fail us yet again. And then 2 days later, we're like, well, but you know, that one time 3 years ago, Kevin did do a really nice thing. And like, I remember all the good times, but you got to move on. You got to move on. It's not working. And there might be something better for us out there. And yes, they could fail. But you know, that happens in life. You got to take chances. We might fail. We might have to fail 2 times to get to where we do finally succeed. But I'd rather start working my way down that road than sticking with what I know isn't going to get me there.
Do we think, Rob, that's a good point, of maybe having to fail 2 times.
It might happen.
Do we think that perhaps a reason why Jimmy Haslam is so scared, and I don't know that he is.
Yes.
This is all,
Yes.
Could it be a chance he's so scared to restart this thing because you're going to lose players like Myles Garrett in their prime, because you're going to lose every little piece that you had during that playoff run? And let's call for what it is. He's an old man. He's an old man.
But like,
Yes. I think Ryan, that is exactly part of it. It's Stockholm syndrome because Jimmy has him. Every decision that he makes is the wrong one, like flat out. So he probably is looking at this situation and saying, well, like Paul DePodesta is the guy that hired Kevin Stefanski and won 2 Coach of the Years, like, and Paul DePodesta's gone. So how am I going to go back to who's leading the coaching search? Jimmy and D? Are they going to hire, some outside advisors that could help guide them through this process? That's maybe the scenario where Andrew Berry is retained and Kevin Stefanski's let go. I definitely think that Haslam's track record and the fact that he has this reputation of a guy that's quick to hire and quick to fire, he's trying to shake that reputation. But further than that, I genuinely believe that he's worried about making the wrong decision.
Listen. You keep flipping the coin, it's eventually going to start landing one way over the other. Now, we talk about Browns having bad luck. The coin's been landing the other way. We've been calling
30 years,
for 30 years, and it keeps coming up tails.
That's Harvey Dent's double-sided coin.
Yeah, like it keeps going, but like it won't be fixed by all of a sudden deciding, well, if I just stop flipping the coin entirely after I just lost, that it's going to solve it. He's going to have to – Kevin is no longer it. It's sad, but it's not it. And if Jimmy's scared to make the choices, then like everyone's saying, we're never going to succeed while he's here because now he's overthinking it when maybe he was underthinking it. But if you underthink it, eventually you're going to hit. We see organizations get lucky, and once upon a time we might have. But if he's going to be scared, if you're scared to fire him and go get the next coach because the next coach might not be good, that means you're sacrificing 100%. It goes down from 50-50 to 100%. You aren't going to get the next great coach. And that means you won't maybe get the next good quarterback at all. So it's just that. You have to take the chance.
Yeah, it can be so simple. It's so simple. Like Hugh Jackson didn't work out. I get that. But Hugh Jackson, like we were all pumped for Hugh Jackson. He was the hottest name on the market. That like it did not work. But that wasn't necessarily Haslam's fault. Like that was a big hire. That was a good hire. It just turned out that Hugh was not a head coach. Like just go hire Gruden. Just go hire Mike McCarthy. Hire one of these guys that have done it before. Worst case is that the game has passed them by and you're doing the same thing in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, none of these good organizations that we talked about are scared to fail. That's just what I'm going to say. If you're living in your fears, you're never going to succeed. It's like never taking the first step to success.
I mean, look at the Patriots. Like,
got to climb the staircase. They fired Bill. They could have said we could kill. We were rolling,
and then they fired Gerard Mayo. My
point was right. You move on from a legendary coach, and I'm not calling Kevin Stefanski legendary by any means, obviously, but like you hired Gerard Mayo. He sucks. What is the Patriots sucked? They got rid of him immediately because they realized he's not it, and they moved on, and it worked out for them. Nick, back to the point real quick about being scared that quick to hire, quick to fire label. Have we not crossed that threshold of this is year 6? It wouldn't be quick anymore.
It's been an eternity,
right?
Like I think I was.
I don't think anybody.
Yeah, I think part of it
when we hired this
like
guy,
a firing wouldn't add to that label. It's been 6 years.
I think a little bit of the psychology for him is that he was a minority owner of the Steelers for so long, and like the Steelers, like even through it more so like Bill Cowher. Mike Tomlin's never really had like a down period, but like Bill Cowher like got stuck with through rougher periods earlier on before like ultimately they won titles and stuff. Like so maybe it's a little bit of like the where I come from, they've had 3 coaches in 50 years or whatever it is, and they'll stick by a guy. I'm not saying I agree. I'm just saying maybe that's part of it in his head.
I also think that there's a big element of guilt that the Deshaun thing wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the $230 million. And he probably looks at it and being like, well, what would this roster look like? What would the future look like if we weren't paying this guy $230 million? Like, what if Deshaun just said, stuck to his thing, and you know what? No, I'm not coming to Cleveland. And it wasn't going to be Baker either, because he had publicly requested his trade and put out his statement. Like, you would have been way further along than where you're at now. So I definitely think that there's a little bit of guilt associated with this in saying that, like, I kind of, signed them up for this Watson thing, even though it was their idea and they were the ones that couldn't make it work with Baker. I took it too far with the $230 million, and where would everybody be at if it wasn't for that $230 million? I think is a fair point and probably a good bit of guilt that he's dealing with. But even beyond the Deshaun thing, the offense is so still, regardless of the quarterback. The receivers are not involved. The run game can get going, but it feels like at halftime of every game, it gets figured out. Like the Browns play the same game every week. I know Big Cat had that take going around that like they're in the game at halftime and they lead you to believe that they have a chance. But then when they actually have to throw the football and you can't just rely on the run game, it all goes to hell in a handbag. And like that has been the case for the last 2 seasons and nothing changes. He doesn't adapt. He doesn't adjust. Like there are so many things further than the Deshaun Watson thing. I don't think he's a leader of men. Like there's just so many things outside of the Deshaun thing, but I do think in the back of Haslam's mind, he's probably like, man, the Deshaun thing kind of hamstrung these.
He's got to turn the page. You got to just.
Yep.
I would love
Great
it.
song.
I would love it if we honestly, and this would suck for a year, like it would be another year of garbage. If we just took a big hit of that money we needed to pay him and we just started to move on. You got rid of him, you made your draft picks, you take it. We're going to have a super slim roster because we got to pay this dude $80 million this year, but then we could finally just stop talking about it. Because I'm so sick of it. Because yes, you made a mistake. But then if we're going to start using this mistake as an excuse for them for a reason that they're not doing this and they're not moving on and they're not doing that, that's terrible.
Hey, Rob, because guess why? The Denver Broncos made a mistake. How's Bo Nix look?
That's what I'm saying.
How's Sean Payton doing up there in Colorado? I think they're doing quite all right.
Pick ourselves up by the straps of our shoes and just dust ourselves off and move forward, man. I'm so sick of hearing him talk about this too. I don't want to talk if he's not. If you're not going to put him in the game again this year and see if he can't play, pay him and just send him on his way. Stop using that as an excuse. Stop living in your failure. Stop being scared of trying to go and succeed, because to succeed, there's always going to be a risk of failure.
Is there anything with like June 1 where it'd be less money this year?
It's going to be, we still owe him like $150 million no matter what. I don't know what
it is what it is regardless, but that post June 1 release is what would at least make Rob's reality come true, that he's at least gone, like he's not welcome in the building anymore. But the money is what the money is. Like the $230 million is going to hit his bank account one way or another.
Well, it all starts with a quarterback, the most important position in football, probably the most important position in all of sports. Let's flip over to college, where there's a couple quarterbacks that might be on the Cleveland Browns, at least one of them, next season when that draft comes. We start here, college football playoff rankings. The week 2 of the college football playoff rankings have been released, and I want to talk about this top 4 to start. Ohio State, undefeated, they remain at number 1. Indiana remains at number 2, despite the very thin win at Penn State. Texas A&M undefeated as well, they're 3. And then Alabama, your first one-loss team, they're in at number 4. Did the committee get the top 4 right? I think there's no debate. Ohio State should be number 1. Outside of the people make the argument, well, Texas A&M has a better resume. But what I've seen out of Ohio State's defense, what I've seen about Julian Sayin, I don't see an argument to not make Ohio State number 1. Do you guys think Indiana should have fell at least a little bit to 3 behind Texas A&M for that close win against Penn State?
I don't think so. I don't think the committee really penalizes that much on a week-to-week basis. Like when it comes down to winning games, like because if you're gonna say, oh, like you got to move Indiana down, they played okay against this Penn State team. What about 3 or 4 weeks ago when Texas A&M beat Arkansas, who is like one of the worst teams in Power 4 by a touchdown? Like it's very hard to do the point differential on a week-to-week basis. There's no point in doing that. They got a tough win on the road in one of the toughest environments of college football, no matter if the Turtle's gone or not.
Yeah, I think they got it right. I like the 4. And like he's saying, with Ohio State, same thing. You got to beat the king to get in front of them. They won the national championship last year, and they haven't lost the game since. They're going to have to lose, or someone's going to have to beat them to start moving ahead.
Well, I think one of these 4 teams are winning the national championship. I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, there is like a
base take.
I never want to count out Georgia, but it does seem like very top heavy, like your clear cut elite teams, because even when you go to like Ole Miss, I think there's a fall off. Texas Tech, I certainly think there's a fall off, even though they've had a tremendous season. They just blew the doors off BYU. And then like Notre Dame, Jack, and I'm not being facetious, honestly, Jack, like this Notre Dame team, number 9, if they win out, they're obviously going to make the playoff. Could this team win a national championship in your opinion?
Yeah, I'm looking at FanDuel right now. They have the 5th highest odds to win the title, right behind the top 4 teams you mentioned, and ahead of Georgia even. Like, I think anyone who has watched Notre Dame this year knows that the offense is way better than an offense that went to the national title game last year, and the defense over the last 5 to 6 weeks has looked a lot less suspect. And I think that's why a lot of people, not in their top 25, but like when people are ranking teams that could actually take down Ohio State, I think that's why Notre Dame's always in that first or second breath.
I hate to say this, but yeah, Notre Notre Dame is a contender. And I hate to say, I mean, it is. I troll them about it all the time, but it's a really good team. And I also think the Texas Tech Red Raiders are a good team. Like, I think there's there's a lot of people
BYU got shit on in that game.
There's some really good football teams. I think this is a playoff where we're going to see the most even landscape, where it's like the first round matchups are gonna matter, because Georgia, you could be playing a team as it stands right now. I think it's like Memphis, but you know, it shakes up a little bit. You might have Notre Dame first draw, and now that's like a game where these are two teams that are clear quality teams. They could upset anyone in the next round and possibly go all the way.
How nuts would a rematch be, Jack?
I was talking to my friend about it on the phone yesterday, and like I mean, I'm sitting here with a 7-2, 8-2 football team, so I'm gonna sound incredibly biased, obviously, but I am a Notre Dame fan. I think last year, Ryan, you would say I kept it real with Notre Dame consistent throughout that playoff run, though, where I thought they actually were. I firmly believe Notre Dame's a top 3 team in the country. I think if they saw Texas A&M again, they would beat them. The only reason they lost that game was a holder dropping a snap. Like, I don't know. I think that it's a really, really competitive team, and I could see them playing there again. And I think Ohio State actually, this sounds weird, I think Ohio State is worse than last year. I think Notre Dame is better than last year. I think Ohio State would beat Notre Dame by more this year, just because Notre Dame has so many injuries on the interior offense. It's the interior. It's not even like the full defense. It's just Notre Dame's D tackles are down to like the 4th and 5th string. And like, even if Ohio State has at times struggled to run the ball this year, they're just going to put it down your fucking throat.
I just deeply fear, after I saw like random tight ends on Texas A&M head topping Notre Dame corners and DBs for game, that Carnell Tate might go for like 3, because you can't double.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was a lot of Chris Ash came out in the year running a 5-2 defense primarily, and Notre Dame switched back out of that, going to the 4-2-5, which Al Golden had run for the last couple of years. Like, they didn't make that change until I think it was after the Purdue game, so it would have been the Arkansas game. Like, if you look at the points Notre Dame's allowed that game and on, like, you're holding teams under 20 a game. Like, USC's offense, the one time they've been neutered this year was when when they came into town against Notre Dame. Like, Mekhi Lemon, the one time he's been shut down was when Leonard Moore was on him.
Cinema.
Well, rounding out the top 12, outside of the top 4, the other teams that would be in the college football playoff if it started today: Georgia number 5, Texas Tech number 6, Ole Miss number 7, Oregon 8, Notre Dame number 9, Texas number 10, Oklahoma 11, BYU 12. We know the committee, when it all comes down to it, they will take their top 5 conference winners to get a bid. But that doesn't necessarily, Jack, mean that, for instance, a Power 4 like the ACC, you don't have to take that champion. Now, we look here, Miami at number 15, Vanderbilt's 14. Miami, should they go ahead and win the ACC championship, I would imagine they would get in. But, Jack, you see a scenario where, and I'll let you take the stage and give your theory, but you could potentially see a world where the ACC champion doesn't get in, and you could even see a world where we see 2 non-Power 5 teams.
Could I throw a disclaimer? This theory had Bruce Drennan rattled. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I mind fucked Bruce on this. Okay, so we are sitting in a scenario right now where Duke already has 4 losses on the season because they have 3 non-conference losses, including
quarterback. Is it Malik Murphy still?
No. Manny Diaz is their coach. I forget the name of their quarterback. Regardless, so they lost to UConn last week. Well,
Darian Mensah.
Yeah. Okay. And there's like an H at the end too, right? Isn't it like, okay? Yeah, I know the kid. So Duke has 4 losses. 3 of them are non-conference, and somehow, despite all of this, Duke is one of 2 teams that control their destiny into the ACC title game because they play.
The other Miami?
What?
Is the other one Miami?
No, it's Georgia Tech, who I believe only has 1 loss. Miami's not going to make the ACC title game. Miami will not be a playoff team. I will tell you that very comfortably today. So this weekend, Virginia, who we for weeks now on the show have talked about that they're suspect. Like, Virginia, they finally got their loss, or their second loss last week, but they're nothing special. They're going into Duke this weekend. Duke is a 5.5-point favorite. They are favored at home. And then after that, it's like 2 of the scrub teams in the ACC for Duke, right? So Duke can get their way in here pretty much. When they played Georgia Tech, they lost by, I believe it was a 10-point game. So like they were in it. It's not like they got blown to shit by Georgia Tech. If they beat Georgia Tech in the ACC title game, they would get what that automatic bid would be, or the rights to the conference championship bid. Are you going to put a 9-4 team who has not been ranked in the top 25 yet, who lost to Tulane and to UConn in the college football playoffs? Not I, said the Fox. I don't think they're going to do that, because the whole entire time up until now, you've seen James Madison and USF ranked ahead of this team.
If they win out, I think that's a lock.
They're a lock. No, they're a lock. And James Madison, like, they're right there too. Like, they're going to win their conference. there's a world where you see 2 group of 5 teams get in. I actually parlayed this together. It was like, I believe we can get a screenshot later this week for the show, but like plus 1,300 odds. I bet on Duke to win the ACC, James Madison, and USF to make the playoffs, because I don't know if you can keep a 1 or 2 loss group of 5 champion out over a team that has 4 losses, including some awful losses like Duke does.
I love that theory, Jack. Yeah, Bruce couldn't even fathom the thought of 2 non.
It completely blew his mind. When
I mean,
Jack
Nick,
was
he
saying-
couldn't
it was so
fathom
funny.
1. He was mad about 1 group of 5 team getting in, and they have to.
You brought up James Madison, and he nearly shit his shorts.
Yeah, he is. And you're taking away an opportunity from a real program.
Imagine James Madison versus Indiana somehow.
Just
That's
Signetti
what I
Bowl,
said,
yeah.
bro.
It can be
Signetti
fun.
Bowl.
Like, I think last year should have been the lightning in the bottle for college football. Like, okay, we're doing this group of 5 thing for the first time. We're introducing it, whatever. They have Ashton Genty on that Boise State team, and they come in and get blown to shit. But can I give you my other college football theory now?
Sure.
Okay. This is way more tinfoil cap.
CFB O'Rourke.
So every time my friend Pat and I crafted this together, every time they need to switch the playoff format in college football. So you're looking like BCS 2002. You switch to the 4-team playoff in 2014. You switch to the 12-team playoff in 2025. What's the common denominator of who won those national championships?
Ohio State.
Ohio State, the biggest fan base in college football. College football is rigged for Ohio State to win every single time they switch to a new format.
Okay.
So that way, the majority of fans already are like, oh, yeah, this format's awesome. My team won. Boom.
Start the conspiracies
Start it
now.
Start it.
Following.
Well, college football, we're almost getting towards
Hashtag
that
noticing.
playoff, and right now the Heisman race is heating up. We hop onto FanDuel Sportsbook to look at these standings. Right now, the favorite, Fernando Mendoza at plus 130, but right behind him on his heels, the clear-cut 2 favorites, Julian Sayin at plus 170. You know, when this season started, I remember going into that Texas game. It was Julian Sayin's first real start here at Ohio State against the #1 preseason AP team. Now, that obviously hasn't come to fruition, but Julian Sayin has done everything that Ohio State could have imagined and more. You go from Will Howard, a vet who led you through the playoffs, to this new kid on the block, Julian Sayin, a transfer. And now he's second in the Heisman in the Heisman race, according to FanDuel Sportsbook at plus 170. Could he actually do it? And how big of a shock would that be?
He needs his moment, though. That's why I think Mendoza just jumped him because of last week. Like, that throw, whether it was really all receiver or not, but, like, he stands in, he makes the throw, crazy catch, historic, walk down game winning drive. So that's his moment. Like, when they're going through his highlights, they'll show that throw 40 times. Julian Sayin doesn't have that yet, but I don't think that's on him because Ohio State hasn't really played a close game since they played Texas that first week, in which they weren't really asking him to do very much. He was a game manager at that point. Truthfully, though, it'll come down to, like they've been saying, shout out to Bobby Carpenter's show, tune in weekdays on the Big Play Sports Network, that it's going to come down to that Big Ten championship game. If Ohio State and Indiana don't lose leading up to that matchup.
Can they vote off that game, though? I thought it ended at the regular season.
No, it'll be right after.
Oh, so that does count.
I think
Okay.
that'll be it. They'll win. Whoever plays better. Really, whoever's team wins, honestly, I think, will become the Heisman winner. They'll give it to the best quarterback on what is the top-ranked team at the end of the season.
That's the thing, too, is like if you look at what Indiana has remaining on the schedule, they got the Wisconsin Badgers and the Purdue Boilermakers. So if you want to look at what Fernando Mendoza is going to do over the next 2 weeks, it's probably going to be adding another 9 to 10 touchdown passes, maybe 1 interception, and a shit ton of yards. So it's going to lead into that title game. And then I guess that would make sense then. But if they didn't, I think it'd go to Mendoza.
Yeah, but what if Sayin just goes nuts against Michigan? Like, what if they just 40 burger Michigan?
But they're just
They
not,
should do that. Michigan offense
they're just
stinks.
not
They're like the
good.
Browns.
Is Michigan? They're 18.
No, they're. I mean, yeah, they're not good, but just like narrative wise, I think leaving voters with that thought versus like beating. Who'd you say they played Wisconsin and who else?
Purdue. They're playing the shitters.
Yeah, like I think there's an opportunity. Like if they absolutely throttle Michigan and then win the Big Ten championship game, I think there's a genuine chance that Julian Sayin wins it.
I think that would be cool if they weren't just playing head to head. I feel like that's what the voters will think of the most. Like, you'll just get to watch one game and see them both. I think it would be cool, like maybe it's a close game versus Michigan somehow. I don't think that would be good for Ohio State in Julian Sayin's case, but
What if they just pulled a Big Ten and both had like shitter games in the championship though? Who wins
It's
that?
possible. Like look at Ohio State.
They're good defenses, yeah.
It's the team who wins. I truly think it's just gonna come. in the situation where it's Ohio State, Indiana, it will be the winner of the game who wins the Heisman, whether it's smart or not.
Well, we look
Stats
here on
aside.
FanDuel Sportsbook again. Fernando Mendoza plus 130, Julian Sain plus 170. Those are the clear-cut two top favorites. Marcel Reed is plus 700, followed by Ty Simpson plus 800. Diego Pavia that jumps here plus 2,000, and Jeremiah Smith plus 2,500. If Julian Sain does win the Heisman, I believe that would be the first Ohio State quarterback since Troy Smith.
Yeah, I would think.
Would that be the first Ohio State player in general since Troy Smith?
Yeah, I don't think anyone
Yeah.
else has gotten it. No.
And that in itself is kind of crazy to think about.
That's 20 years. Wow.
It's been that long since a Buckeye, as much success as they have had a Heisman winner. All right, Nick, speaking of FanDuel, why don't we tell everybody about it? We can do our FanDuel parlay of the day, and we can head out of here.
Yeah, guys, it was a good evening again on FanDuel, especially for the Cavs, who didn't just cover that underdog spread, but they said, you know what, we're going to go out and just win this game outright. It's NBA tip-off time. FanDuel is your home for live betting. So even if you miss the start of the game or you just want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets from everything who's going to score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you could even combine your bets into a same game parlay for a shot at an even bigger payout. However you want to play, now is the perfect time to join our friends at FanDuel because they're giving new customers $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. So just visit FanDuel.com/bigplay to sign up today. Play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. You must be 21 plus, present select states, first online real money wager only. $5 first deposit is required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Thursday night football, boys. We got some more Cavs. Jack, FanDuel parlay of the day.
Let's do it, baby.
Take it away.
All right, here we go. We're starting out with a little SGP for the Raptors coming into town to face off against our Cavs. We're going Cavs money line to start this puppy off, and we're going to go with Sam Merrill. 2+ made threes. What's Rafa's nickname for him again?
The Latter-day Sniper.
The Latter-day Sniper, Sam Merrill, 2+ made threes. Then we're heading over to college basketball, 2 games over on the hardwood. We're going Michigan State. They got the San Jose State Spartans coming into town. January, February, Izzo. By 24.5 points against the Spartans. Tommy Izzo and the boys getting it done. Last but not least, Loyola Chicago heading into Kansas. They got Wichita State on the docket tonight. We're taking the Shockers money line in this one, -240. Once again, Cavs money line, Sam Money Merrill, 2 made threes. Michigan State -24.5. Wichita State money line, go Shockers.
That looks like a winner there.
Doesn't it? A little bit.
Wait, you heard it here first. Before we head out of here, Jack, can you explain that to me? The January, February Izzo?
So March Madness is played in March, and
I
Tom
see now.
Izzo
I see now.
historically does well that time of the year. So it's like January, February Izzo. It's his
You're
month.
good.
It's his
Early,
month.
it's
Yeah.
early.
Makes sense.
It's not 12 yet.
I totally understand it. Well, appreciate everybody tuning in here on the Big Factor on the Big Play Sports Network, presented by FanDuel.
Flowers.
Shout out FanDuel as always. Shout out Garage Beer. I'm Ryan Tyler. He's Jack O'Rourke. He's Nick Pannone. He's Rob Watson. We'll be back tomorrow. Same people, same time. Until then, have a wonderful rest of your Thursday. Enjoy football being back, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Peace out.